Hey, this is Joe at the Pour-Over. Happy Monday. Has the pour-over changed your entire life? Or at least slightly improved your relationship with the news? We'd love to hear how. Share what TPO has meant to you at the link in the show notes. There's even a video option if you're having a good hair day. Anyways, here are the headlines. Today, we're talking about President Trump's plans after meeting with Russian President Putin in Alaska, a deal between local DC police and the DOJ on the crime crackdown in the Capitol, the nationwide gerrymandering battle, and other top news for Monday, August 18th. Stay informed while remaining focused on Christ with the pour-over. Here's your quote of the day. Everything you need, God already is. Priscilla Schreier. Let's get started with some espresso shots. Presidents Trump and Putin met for 3 hours in Alaska on Friday and inched toward progress. President Trump said, quote, "Great progress was made," and Putin referenced an understanding, but no ceasefire or deal was announced. Trump later told Ukrainian President Zelensky that Putin had offered to freeze most front lines if Ukraine ceded all of Donetsk, a region Russia has largely controlled since first invading in 2014. Zelensky rejected the proposal. First Lady Melania Trump wrote Putin a letter raising concerns over abducted Ukrainian children, which her husband hand-delivered. On Saturday, Putin told Kremlin officials the summit was, quote, timely and very useful, saying they discussed, quote, all aspects of our cooperation and the root causes of the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Trump said he'll brief NATO leaders and meet with President Zelensky and European leaders in Washington later today. Christians should be committed to praying for world leaders to be wise and to work towards peaceful resolutions while simultaneously placing our hope in God, not government. 1 Timothy 2, verses 1 through 2 says, "First of all, then, I urge that petitions, prayers, intercessions, and thanksgivings be made for everyone, for kings and all those who are in authority, so that we may lead a tranquil and quiet life in all godliness and dignity." The DC crime initiatives are stirring things up on the streets and in the courtroom. The Justice Department and DC officials reached a deal Friday after DC Attorney General Brian Schwab sued to stop the federal takeover of local police, and a federal judge signaled she was likely to rule in his favor. The DOJ agreed to keep Police Chief Smith at the helm in exchange for local law enforcement's cooperation with federal officers and immigration enforcement. Protests have popped up across the nation's capital in response to the crackdown, which had resulted in 240-plus arrests, with demonstrators chanting, "Free DC." Meanwhile, backup is en route. 3 Republican-led states, Ohio, West Virginia, and South Carolina, have announced they will collectively deploy around 650 National Guardsmen and military police to DC as, quote, a show of commitment to public safety and regional cooperation. In this divisive and political climate, Christians have an opportunity to show that our ultimate allegiance is to the God who shows perfect justice and mercy to everyone. Imitate Him, rooting for justice while retaining love for all parties, desiring restoration and not revenge. Isaiah 30, verse 18 says, "Therefore the Lord is waiting to show you mercy, and is rising up to show you compassion. For the Lord is a just God. All who wait patiently for Him are happy." Texas has a full house again. Democratic lawmakers who fled the state to stall a vote on redistricting are expected to return to Austin today, allowing the vote to move forward on a new map that will probably flip 5 congressional seats in Republicans' favor. The map work is part of President Trump's effort to expand Republicans' narrowly held control of the U.S. House of Representatives in the 2026 midterm elections. While the Lone Star lawmakers were on hiatus, California's Governor Newsom proposed his own map that would probably add 5 more blue seats. Democrats will seek approval to put the new map, which sidesteps the state's independent redistricting commission, on its November 2025 ballot. Liking that math, Texas Democrats are returning home, saying they'll move their battle to the courts and, quote, pass the baton to California. Here's a verse to consider whether gerrymandering math keeps you up at night or puts you to sleep faster than high school algebra. May the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable to you, Lord, my rock and my redeemer. Psalm 19, verse 14.
Hey, it's Emily from The Pour Over. The kids are heading back to school this month, which means buying school supplies, doling out lunch money, paying registration fees, and replacing my boys' jeans that now look more like capri pants. I'm trying not to blow the back-to-school budget, and thankfully, I have Upside to help. It's a free app that shows you nearby cashback offers on essentials like gas and groceries. And it really couldn't be easier. All you have to do is claim an offer, make your purchase like normal, snap a pic of the receipt, or link your card, and boom, money back in your account. Plus, I can use my cash back on some post-drop-off Starbucks, because I could definitely use a little extra caffeine once the school year starts. Download the free Upside app and use promo code TPO to get an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas. That's an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas using promo code TPO.
In other brews, here's a rapid round of updates. Hurricane season is warming up. Erin, the first hurricane of the 2025 season, exploded to Category 5 status over the weekend before downgrading and passing 200 miles north of Puerto Rico. While not expected to make landfall, Erin will slam the Caribbean with rain and wind and churn up, quote, life-threatening rip currents and surf along the East Coast. Flash floods from heavy rains have killed over 400 people across Pakistan, India-administered Kashmir, and Nepal. Officials said 321 of the deaths came in just 48 hours in northwest Pakistan. Rescuers have evacuated more than 3,500 stranded tourists trapped in flood-prone areas, but hundreds remain missing as recovery efforts continue. The big house is in the doghouse. The NCAA is fining the University of Michigan about $20 million and has suspended head football coach Sharon Moore for a third game over reports that a former staffer and others repeatedly stole opposing teams' play calling signals from 2021 to 2023. Then head coach and khakis lover Jim Harbaugh has been banned from collegiate athletics until 2038. New Orleans Mayor LaToya Cantrell has been charged with fraud for allegedly using government funds to hide a, quote, intimate relationship with a now retired NOLA police officer who worked as her bodyguard from 2021 through 2024. Federal prosecutors accuse the pair of spending over $70,000 on personal trips and fabricating working hours to, quote, maximizing their time together. Cantrell has not commented on the allegations. United Health Group stock soared 12% on Friday, its best day in 5 years, after Warren Buffett revealed a stake of 5 million shares worth about $1.6 billion. United Health stock has suffered in 2025, down near 50% before receiving the Buffett bump, as it faces public blowback for the rising cost of health insurance and a DOJ investigation into its Medicare billing practices. That's all we have for today. Thanks so much for listening, TPO fam. If you're listening on the Apple Podcasts app, give us a 5-star rating and drop a review. If you're listening on Spotify, Give us a follow and hit the notification bell to never miss a new episode. We're grateful for your support and hope you have a great day. See you on Wednesday. The other day in the kitchen, I poured citrus element powder in my water bottle. My wife looked at me and asked when the last time was that I drank water without element. I looked at her and couldn't even remember. No sugar, no crashes, just the science-backed ratio of electrolytes we need to stay sharp. Honestly, it's the real MVP of the pour-over. Stay fresh and hydrated with us. The pour-over listeners get a free 8-pack of Element's most popular drink flavors with any drink mix purchase. Just use the Element link in the show notes.